Hi everyone, Greg here with Millsview Ag Services. Just wanted to drop everybody a quick video here to let you know our thoughts on the corn crop, where it's at this stage overall in our area, and how we got to where we are today. We've looked at a lot of product in the last 10 days or so. We're starting to get a really good feel and a good handle on how things are going. Uh, as you can see here, we pulled some ears back. I think this is very typical of of a lot of the fields that we look at. This year, we're seeing for the most part a nice level ear set. This could be a little better, but where we have some that are off, it's a late emerged plant, or maybe just some bug damage with some aphids. We'll get to that here in a few minutes, but. Yeah, looking at a nice level ear set. We're doing evaluations with bushels per thousand, which is something I always talk about every year, and we probably don't talk enough about it because that does set the table for what our final yield potential at actual bushels per acre is going to be. I would say this crop probably has not ever lacked for any moisture whatsoever. From the start, there was a vast majority of our corn was planted in May this year, a lot of mid-May to May 20th, some a little later than that. One of the things that happened in quite a bit of it in this area, especially as you go from the St. Joseph area south, is we had some really big rains on this crop right after planting. Some areas back to back 2 inches of rain. That effect there is showing up here in this field a little bit. This is what kind of kept us from being almost near perfect on this stand. When you have those type of heavy rains after planting, it will affect and delay some germination on some of these plants. This one here in particular, you can see its nose back a little bit. It's an off plant type. It was a late emerged plant. Nothing we can do, absolutely nothing we can do to prevent that. Comparing this year, what we're seeing right now to last year, the biggest thing that stands out, there's two things that stand out. One is we do have some holes in some fields this year. Last year we had no water holes and we were really dry. This year there are some holes, there are some wetter spots that are going to affect yield. How to quantify that is pretty hard till we get out in there. The main thing that I like this year over last year is we're probably averaging 5 to 6 long easily, just about in every field that we look at. This is a pretty typical ear here. I believe it's about 36 long. It looks longer than that, but it's not. It's 36 by 16. Last year we had some zipper effect. If you remember, we nose back badly in the dry weather. We're just not finding that this year unless we get to a field that was heavily infested with aphids and didn't get sprayed or didn't get sprayed in time. That situation really put some variability onto the ears, and I'll touch on that real quick. We did have fields in this area that had aphids. Some hybrids, for some reason, had a much higher attraction with the aphids, and we are seeing that if those were not sprayed with some type of a bifenthrin insecticide, it really gave that corn some variability, and we're seeing that where they almost look like arrested ear syndrome, very short ears, and right next to it will be a normal ear. So I think we've learned a little bit more of a lesson there. When we get that many aphids on a farm, I think we need to spray, and we probably need to spray a little earlier than what we normally would. But the infestation was something that I don't think there was too many of us have seen anything quite like that in our farming careers. So that is another variable that we'll have to watch out for this year. Overall, our plants seem to be staying pretty disease-free and fairly clean. This particular field does have some, and I don't know how well we can see this, but it's got a condition called bacterial leaf streak, which looks a lot like gray leaf spot, but it's not. And there's really nothing, this is a better example here. There's really nothing we can do about it. It's a bacteria disease that cannot be controlled with fungicide, so it's something we're going to have to live with. It doesn't really spread too bad. We have found a small amount of tar spot in the area. Nothing that's out of control, nothing that warrants a second application of fungicide. I'm very hopeful that that's the way it will remain. This particular field of corn, I believe, was planted around May 15th, I believe. Just barely starting to dent, so we're looking at very early R5. That's the stage it's in. So, which means we've got a well-developed kernel now, but still, let's all bear in mind that this crop still has a huge variable in it as far as finishing weight. So we get the right weather conditions between now and when it gets to black layer, of course, and have temperate conditions, some cool nights. Our plants stay healthy. We don't want to run out of nitrogen. We don't want to be riddled with disease, and we can put a big weight on this corn, and that can really make a big swing for us one way or another on the yield. One other thing I might mention, Stephen and I have been looking at, like I said, a lot of acres. Nitrogen utilization seems to be really well this year. Yes, there are some wet pockets where that's starting to show up, but overall, I think our mineralization has been excellent. So we're very pleased and very happy with what we're seeing at this point. We're going to provide an update on some soybeans here later in the week and what we're seeing there. But as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at any time. But right now, very pleased with the way things are looking, and hope everybody's having a great day. Thanks.